First of all, my psychic abilities are just a little dusty because I had this shit all wrong. I know it took me some time to get to the place where you wanted me to be. Ooh, now I'm ready. I'm ready to love. Y'all already know what time it is. It's your girl P Hope, and I am back with another video. This is season 3, episode 2 of Ready to Love. Y'all know I absolutely love this show. I talked to you guys last week about my love for the show, so if you have not seen that review, then go ahead to episode 1 and then come back to episode 2. And I also want to give a super shout out to everybody who actually watched that review last week, because like I always say, I know it's plenty of other vloggers and bloggers out here that have been reviewing these type of shows forever, and you know, they are definitely professionals at it, and I'm just a rookie. So I'm always extremely grateful for you guys that tune in and watch my videos, because your girl just trying to, you know, slide her way in the game a little bit, but I can't do it without y'all. So you know, it's always big ups to the P Hope family, okay? But anyway, y'all, my psychic abilities was way off, but I'm going to talk about that at the end of this review. So let's just start with how the show went. So it starts with them having all the cast members come in one by one to the little resort where they're going to be mixing and mingling at, so that they can all meet each other for the first time. So I'm just going to talk about a few people that stood out in their walk, in their initial introduction and their walk-in. So the first person that they showed was Dietrich, and Dietrich says that in the beginning, all you have to go off of is a person's physical, the physical appearance. So if anybody hits you with anything other than that, with that, you know, it's about the personality and it's about the person's heart, then 9 times out of 10 that person is ugly. You know, that's just his personal opinion. So yeah, that was that. Another person that stood out for me was Stacy. Stacy says that, you know, even though of course she was a married woman and she was a basketball wife, she's definitely used to dating multiple men at one time. So going into this experience is not going to be awkward or weird for her. You know, she's ready for it. Miss Stacy said, bring it on, child. I've been here. I've done this before. So, you know, we'll see how she moves about. David says that he is open for whatever God has for him. And as the episode goes on, we see that David is really connected to his spiritual side. So, you know, we know that that was one of the things that Liz spoke about, and she said that she would definitely be looking for a man who is in tune with his spiritual side. So, you know, David and Liz might, you know, they might work out. But we'll see. The next person was Vernisha. Vernisha definitely was turning heads when she walked into the building, okay? You know, I told y'all Vernisha is very curvy. So, you know, she was hitting them with the boom boom pow. And then she had on the loose fitting dress. So you already know that backyard was giving what it was supposed to give, okay? Troy. Oh, but Vernisha. Look, I got stuck on the body and I ain't even want to tell y'all nothing else. That's, you know what, I need to get myself together. Vernisha said that she does not have a type. She said as long as you have nice teeth and a good personality, she can work with you. So, you know, she's not really hung up on, you know, a type. Troy. Y'all know that Troy came in with a cockiness last week, so what makes you think this week was any different? You know, he came in and he thought that he was supposed to own the room, But what he said was that, you know, in his dating experience, he's not going to do a dinner and a movie. You know what I'm saying? If you go out on a date with Troy, you need to be looking to pack your bags and go to, you know, Aruba. You need to be looking for a Bahama type of vibe, you know what I'm saying, Cabo type of vibe. You need to be ready to travel when you're dealing with Mr. Troy, because, you know, he's a top tier kind of guy. And so that's just kind of the cockiness that he brought into the room. And he even said that in his confessional. He was like, you know, people think that I have like a bit of an arrogance to me, a bit of cockiness to me, but, you know, that's really not the case. Let me tell you something, Troy. You're in denial. You definitely walk around with arrogance. You definitely walk around with cockiness. And I mean, for somebody somewhere in the world, they're looking for you. So hopefully it's one of these 10 women that's in this room, because for me personally, I would have got you out my face a long time ago. But, you know, some women actually, you know, that's attractive to them. That much confidence in a man is very attractive to them. So, you know, I can see Troy being around for a long time, as long as he doesn't put his foot in his mouth. Chrysanthemum. Well, you know, the men had a really hard time saying her name, but they did not have a hard time approaching her, because they thought Chrysanthemum was, you know, just drop dead gorgeous. And she is a very pretty young lady. But her thing was, she said that because of her occupation as a flight attendant, if you don't keep in touch with her, then she'll ultimately forget about you. You know what I'm saying? If she's gone for 2 weeks at a time, and if you don't know how to pick up the phone and call her or shoot a text and say, hey, you know, I was just thinking about you. Listen, you're out of sight, out of mind as far as Chrysanthemum is concerned, okay? AJ, the ladies absolutely were floored when AJ walked in the room. They were absorbed in the chocolateness of it all, the baldness of it all, the height of it all. You know what I'm saying? Now, I ain't gonna lie. When AJ stepped in the room, he definitely would have caught my attention. You know, the camera did him right, or either he did himself right. I don't know, because I don't feel like I was really necessarily, you know, I am Mr. AJ like that last week, but for whatever reason this week, I feel like if I was in that room, I would definitely be gunning for AJ. He looked really nice when he walked in the room. And I don't have any notes for him. I just wanted to talk about him because the ladies were, you know, they was like, well, god dang, who is this? So that we'll see what Mr. AJ has to offer. The next one was Ida Cooey. All right. Now, first of all, upon entrance, Miss Ida Cooey almost tripped over her dress. Okay. They don't have her full name on this particular episode. She's going by Ida. And she also said that her mother or grandmother, I think it was the grandmother, doesn't call her by her government name either. She calls her Vicky. And that was a name that Ida actually ended up giving herself because she was infatuated with, I think the show was called Small Wonder. Don't get me the line, but I think she said on that show Small Wonder, where they had that robot that looked like a human, but her name was Vicky. I knew exactly what show she was talking about, but I can't think of it right now. But I think it was Small Wonder. But she said that she was infatuated with the robot on there named Vicky, so she started going by the name Vicky. And her grandmother essentially started calling her Vicky as well. And now she doesn't even think her grandmother remembers her government name. But listen, that was the vibe that Ida came in with. And so I already knew that, you know, things had potential to go left. But we're going to move on. All right. Liz. So I don't really have any notes on when Liz came in the room. But at some point, her and David did end up meeting each other. And so upon meeting each other, Liz was letting David know that, you know, she was raised in the church and that she sung with a gospel group for years. And so David was like, really? Well, you know, you're not just gonna sit here without singing me a song. And she was like, oh man, you know, you putting me on the spot. And she was like, so only if you will sing with me. So I forget the name of the song that they sung, but they ended up singing a little song together. And so everybody was looking around like, okay, they done already got together and made themselves a little gospel duet or whatnot. So it sounded okay. It sounded all right for what it was. And that is how Liz and David made their initial connection. So we'll see how far that connection goes. Who was next? Khalil. Khalil was trying to maneuver his way around the room, and he was having a little bit of a time because he wasn't being very open with the ladies. Because his thing was, he kept saying that he was attracted to crazy. I think it was that he was saying. If he was saying something else, I'll put exactly what he kept saying up on top of me. But I think he kept saying that he was attracted to crazy women. So as people were trying to get to know him, and who was that? It was one particular young lady that, you know, specifically asked him. I want to say it was Amber. And, you know, she was like, so if you could change one character flaw about yourself, what would it be? And he was like, you know, being attracted to crazy women. And she was like, no, I'm not talking about the people that you choose or the women that you deal with. I'm talking about you specifically. What can you change about Khalil? And all he could say was being attracted to crazy women. Now, I understand that he was saying it in a joking tone, but you could tell by the look on her face that, bruh, I'm asking you a serious question and it's requiring a serious answer. Like, I'm legit trying to get to know you here. So this is not comedy hour. But, you know, Khalil just didn't seem to get it. I'm hoping that he actually did end up answering that question off camera. But as far as we seen, you know, he kept sticking with the fact that he doesn't have any character flaws. His only character flaw is picking the wrong woman. Okay, that's all he got to offer. Okay, other than that, he's the perfect man. So, of course, that was irritating. Kyra. Okay, well, first of all, Kyra walked in killing shit with the green dress. If you didn't know me, you know now that green is my all-time favorite color. So, you know, I was definitely team Kyra as soon as she walked through the door, simply because of the dress that she had on. But it did look really, really nice on her. I felt like it was very much giving me very sexy without being inappropriate. So I appreciated that. And so I think Khalil was one of the first people to actually give her a compliment and let her know that, you know, her makeup was actually, you know, really beautiful. And but he kept it at that. You know, he gave her a compliment on her makeup and she was like, oh, you know, thank you, you know, I really appreciate that. But then Jason stepped in and was like, you know, yeah, you are definitely somebody that I want to get to know. So I think we're going to step away from the group here and I want to get to know you one-on-one. So he essentially took her by the hand and escorted her away from everybody else. And Khalil was just sitting there looking like, Ninja, I know you saw me about to go in for the kill. But that was the thing that all the ladies had with Khalil. It's like, bruh, you're showing interest, but you're not being aggressive enough. Like, you're not just going in for what you want. You're hinting at what you want, but you're not coming straight out and saying, like, I want to talk to you, I want to get to know you, and asking specific questions of what you want to know. It's like you're just kind of playing the background, and that's not what this meeting is about. You know, this is about really putting yourself out there and letting somebody see the best version of you in a matter of a couple of hours. So yeah, that's what that was. So let's see. And then the last person that I have to just really talk about as far as the intro was Chris. Chris makes a comeback, and all the ladies are absolutely just ecstatic about that. He comes in his yellow Easter suit, honey, and you already know that Chris is chocolate down. So it looked really, really good up against his skin. I feel like Chris has a really good sense of fashion. I do enjoy his sense of fashion. It's different. It's a little quirky, but out of the box at the same time. So I can appreciate that on a fine chocolate man. I appreciate that. But yeah, so I forgot who it was, but one of the men, I think it was Ronald, one of the men got really, you know, sour at the fact that Chris was allowed to come back for this season. But I told y'all last week that Chris was actually allowed to come back because a lot of people felt like he was eliminated wrongly, like he was wrongly eliminated from off the show, because unfortunately he fell for cuckoo ass, I don't forgot her name. I actually did a review just on that little segment of the show, but you know, he fell for Dum Dum, and she ended up asking him one question about the mortgage. He answered it saying that the mortgage should be split 50-50, and she just felt like he needed his head cut off, which a lot of women don't feel that way. And so he said that because that's the reason that he was eliminated, a lot of people actually started petitioning for him to have a second chance on the show. And so because of that, that's the reason that he's back. And I'm glad that he's going to get a second go round, because now he knows that you can't put all your eggs in one basket when you're doing something like this. That's number one. And to still just be open and honest and just say what it is. You know what I'm saying? Either somebody's going to appreciate you for you, or you're just not the one for them, and that's just what it is. So I hope that he, you know, takes all of the mistakes from the last season and corrects them in this season. So Alexis and Jason, they end up going off by themselves and having a little conversation, and we find out that these two have actually seen each other before, and that is because Jason is Alexis's son's basketball coach. Well, let me say was the basketball coach when her son was playing basketball, and she let him know that, listen, every game that I attended, I was always looking at you. I always thought you was just fine as hell, but I never approached you because, first of all, I thought you already had somebody. That was number one. And number two, I was always looking raggedy. And, you know, it's like, I'm just there to sit through this game. So I just kind of sat in the cut, and when the game was over, I was jetting it up out of there. So that's why she said she never approached him when Jason was coaching her son. But she said, I bet you never thought that I could give you all of this. I know you wasn't expecting all of this. And so Jason was kind of looking like, well, no, you know, yeah. Y'all, I'm gonna be honest. I couldn't tell if Jason was feeling Alexis or not. Somebody drop down in the comment section and let me know what you felt. Do you think that Jason was actually feeling Alexis, or was he just being cordial and holding conversation because, you know, they were two familiar faces? That was kind of the vibe that I was getting, is that he wasn't necessarily there for her. Ida, y'all, Ida is still walking around this damn resort being awkward as she wants to be, okay? First of all, her eyes are a little glazed over, so I don't know if Ida had been throwing the drinks back. I don't know if Ida had done popped her a perk, or, you know, some other kind of very relaxing medication. I don't know what Ida had going on, but listen, Ida, girl, you're letting me down here. because y'all remember that Ida was one of the ones that I said was going to make it all the way to the end. But I never got the vibe last week that she was going to come in acting so spaced out. But anyway, she's walking around being weird. Like I said, she's picking out the oddest things about the people. She walked up on one of the men and was like, you know, I just had to come over here because if it's one thing that I can truly appreciate is some moisturized ankles. So I wanted, you know, you definitely caught my attention with your moisturized ankles. Ida, that's all you got? Then she told somebody else something else awkward, and they was looking at her like, bitch, what? And I'm like, Ida, bruh, you're killing me right now. And then in her confessional, she was just like, you know, I'm just not really sure what these men are looking for. So if I end up having to go home, then it just is what it is, because I don't know what these people want. And I'm just like, girl, I don't even know if you know what you want at this point, because you don't know how to have a conversation. Then she finally did sit down and start having a conversation with, I think she was talking to Jason. So if y'all don't know one thing, y'all got to know that Jason, if nobody else, Jason was making his goddamn way around this room. And he was like sincerely getting to know as many women as he could. But yeah, I think it was Jason who Ida actually ended up sitting down and starting a real conversation with. But Jason was completely turned off because Ida was not letting this man get a word in edgewise. So Jason was extremely uncomfortable, and he didn't really know how to feel about it. Okay, so he said he was extremely turned off because you know, she was the only one in the conversation. He couldn't talk. Which that is aggravating. I've gotten caught in conversations with people like that where, you know, you can't engage with the person and you can't get a word in. So it's just like, my nigga, I'ma head on out. Joel, y'all. Joel is making his way around the room. He's definitely getting to know as many women as he can. But his sights are really set on Vernisha. Him and Vernisha just have really cool casual conversation, and they seem to have really good chemistry between one another. So we're going to keep our eyes peeled for Joel and Vernisha. Joel and Vernisha. Stacy says that she is really feeling Christian, y'all. Y'all remember Christian? That's the little chocolate mailman, okay? She said that she's really feeling him, but he's just a little too on the timid side for her, because y'all remember that Stacy said she's used to playing, you know, she's used to juggling. You know what I'm saying? So if you're gonna talk to her, you gotta talk to her. Don't be that laid back type. Don't be that kind that's holding stuff in. Like, you gotta come on out. But, you know, appearance wise, she's really feeling Christian and what he's about. So she's sitting down talking to Kyra, and I forget the other young lady that she was talking to. It might have been Amber. And she's just sitting down at the table with them, and she's like, yeah, you know, y'all see little chocolate over there? Like, I'm really feeling him, but dude is a little timid. So Kyra, being the outgoing person that she is, she flags his ass over there, and she's like, look, you know what I'm saying? Us ladies are feeling you, you know what I'm saying? You got the look going on, but the timid side of you is, you know, it's, bro, you got to do something with that. You got to put that timidness on the back burner, and we need to see the real Christian, you know? And so he's like, okay, you know, all right, cool. Now, Kyra said that for her personally, she just looks at Christian as, you know, he can be little bruh. That can be little bruh, but she doesn't have any type of romantic feeling there. But she definitely would like to see him stick around. She's rooting for him to be there because she can tell that he really is a nice guy. But he just needs to step it up a little bit. That's all. Let's see. Andrea. scene where Andrea and Dietrich are sitting outside having this serious conversation, right? And Andrea's looking like she's damn near in tears. And we realize that she is talking to us about, you know, it's a situation where she left her cat with her aunt. I believe she said it was her aunt. And she left the cat with the aunt. And the cat, and the aunt has a doggy door at her house. So 2 days ago, the aunt had to let her know that she feels like the cat has discovered the doggy door and she's gone. So the cat has been missing for the past 2 days. And, you know, Andrea is distraught about it. So she's damn near in tears about the cat. And Dietrich is doing his best to hold it together. But he let us know in the confessional that he doesn't give a shit about the cat. Okay, he doesn't give a shit about the cat. He's completely uninterested in figuring out if the cat is gonna make it back home or not. But, you know, good luck and best wishes to you, Andrea, on finding your damn cat, okay? But Dietrich is definitely ready to exit left on conversation, because, you know, if this is what you're coming to the table with, then listen, you might possibly not be the woman for me, okay? Dietrich doesn't have time. He doesn't have time. Let's see. Then it boils down to the point where Tommy is circling around the room and he's talking to all the ladies about who are they feeling, who are they not feeling, okay? I'm not going to go through all the names of who everybody was feeling, so I'll just let you guys know who the ladies were not interested in, okay? So, the first person that the ladies were not feeling is Khalil. I told y'all, Khalil was having a really hard time just saying what he needed to say. You know, he wasn't being open, and you could tell that he wasn't being completely open and honest with the ladies, and so that's a turn off, okay? The next person the ladies were not feeling was Christian only because of his shyness and his timidness. Like, they needed him to step it up, and they don't feel like that after Kyra had that talk with him that he had much of an improvement. So Christian was on the chopping block as well. Troy was on the chopping block, y'all. I didn't have nothing to do with it. I promise y'all I didn't have nothing to do with it. But Troy was on the chopping block, and I don't even remember why they put him on the chopping block. But if I had to take a guess, it has something to do with that cockiness and that arrogantness that he swears he doesn't have. But yeah, Troy ass was on the chopping block. The next person that was on the chopping block was Ronald. Now, Ronald ended up being in a conversation. I believe he got in a conversation with Andrea as well. And they got to talking about a family. So, you know, Andrea's a flight attendant, and I forget Ronald's occupation. But anyway, they got to talking about, you know, if they build a family, what would be the expectations? And Ronald said, you know, oh, I'm more of a traditional type of guy. So, you know, I understand that you have a job as a flight attendant, but, you know, if we started to build a family, I would expect you to be a stay-at-home mom. I would just want you to be in the house. Which, of course, Andrea was immediately taken aback. But she was like, okay, well, let me ask you this. Could this be a temporary thing? Could I just raise the children, you know, at home to a certain point? Would I be able to go back to work? And he said, no, that's not really up for debate. You know, I think I just need you to be at home. I got it. I got us on the financial end. And that was just a complete turnoff for Andrea. So, yeah, that. And Andrea let him know some of that. I think I see, I didn't get a chance to talk to him, so I'm going to go holler at him some of that, because, fool, you talking out the side of your neck. If you think that I have been out here making my own coin for I don't know how long now. I'm enjoying the career that I have, getting to go places and meet all kind of different people. And now, just because I get with you, you want me to leave all of this behind to be a housewife that I didn't ask to be? Boy, bye. And then the last person was AJ. AJ was on the chopping block only with Kyra. All the rest of the ladies were feeling him, but Kyra says that her and her homegirls have actually given AJ a name because she has actually been out on a date with AJ twice. And y'all remember in episode 1, AJ actually said that, you know, he's a serial dater and he gets around. So he would not be surprised if he's already dated some of these ladies that are on the cast. And so, yes, he has already been out on a date with Kyra twice. And Kyra says that that second date just did not go well. She said she got up to go to the ladies' room. She left her card on the table. And when she got back, the bill still wasn't taken care of, which means that she had to pay for the date. She said she's never been on a date with a man and she had to pay for it. So that was very distasteful. And now her and her homegirls have renamed him, not AJ, but El Cheapo. So at some point, Kyra and AJ did have a conversation about what happened, on the date. And he explained to her and he let her know that, listen, that's not nothing that I would normally do. You know, anytime that I am asking a young lady out, I know that it's my responsibility to take care of the tab. When you got up and went to the restroom, I attempted to take care of it, but the card that I had on me declined. I didn't know what to do at that time, so I was like, well, listen, I'm going to just let her take care of the tab. It's no big deal. And on the next date, I got us. But unfortunately, there was no next date. He was like, you know, I didn't see it of that big of a deal. But obviously, you know, in hindsight, I found out that that was a big deal. So him and Kyra did end up having a conversation about that. She said that she wished that he just would have said what it was, and it would have definitely been a third date. So this is their opportunity to start over and try again and see, is there really some chemistry there. So we'll see what happens between Kyra and AJ. So Tommy gathers everybody around because it is time for the first elimination. And he just comes out and lets everybody know the first man that will be leaving us will be Mr. Khalil. Khalil was the first man to be eliminated because he just simply did not put himself out there enough. So, you know, with him saying that he keeps being attracted to these crazy women, if that's all you can come up with, Khalil, this was not the right show for you. You know what I'm saying? If you don't feel like you have anything you need to work on, you know, if you can talk about everything that you bring to the table, but you're not willing to talk about, you know, what you can work on, then this was not the right show for you anyway. And I think that the ladies did make the right decision in Khalil being the first person to go home. So then Tommy lets them know that not only will one person be going home tonight, it's actually two people going home tonight. So then at this point, everybody's looking crazy and they're like, wow, you know, we really got to step it up and put ourselves out there, okay? So at this point, Alexis is surfing the room and she's just trying to figure out who she hasn't already had some communication with. Now it's time for Tommy to go back around for round 2, but this time he wants to talk to the men and find out who the men are feeling and who they're not feeling. And again, I'm not going to go through all of these women of who they were interested in, but I will tell you who was on the chopping block. The women that are on the chopping block, number 1 was Ida. Ida Cooey is the first woman on the chopping block because it was Joel, and Jason that felt like, you know, she just talks way too much and that she was just a little too awkward for them, okay? So she's on the chopping block. The second woman on the chopping block was Tressa. I told y'all in episode 1 that I felt like Tressa is going to have a hard time on this show simply based off the fact that she's a comedian. Because of the fact that she's a comedian, a lot of the men are just simply not going to take her serious, okay? Because they're going to feel like everything is a joke, number one. And then if she finds someone to take her serious, they're still going to be very hesitant because of the fact that everything is going to go back on stage if they get into it about something. So I just really feel like Tressa is, it's kind of like, what's the word I'm looking for? Not guilty by association, but it's like you're done before you can even get started, girl. It's nothing that you can do right, because by you letting them know that you're a comedian, it's just like you're doomed from the start. So yeah, she's on the chopping block. And the last person on the chopping block was Andrea. And I don't even remember why they put Andrea on the chopping block. That could have just been Dietrich that put her on the chopping block, because the whole cat story took him out, honey. It was a lot for him, okay? So that was that. And then Tommy says that, you know, I done told y'all that I'm going to be throwing curveballs all season long. So I know that you guys are expecting one of the ladies to be eliminated at this time, but it's actually going to be another man. And so now all the men have went from smiling to looking crazy, like, bruh, I'm not ready to go home. You just got rid of Khalil. What are you doing? So yeah, he lets them know that another man is about to go home, and the women have decided that the next man that is not quite ready to love is our favorite chocolate mailman, Mr. Christian. Christian was the one that was going home, but it had boiled down to two. It was either going to be Christian or Ronald, okay? And it ended up being Christian only because of his timidness. He never could get it together, guys. But he said that, you know, he will start working on himself and work on that timidness. So hopefully he'll get that together so that he can find the lady of his dreams, okay? Stacey ended the show. Stacey ended the episode in her commentary, and she was just saying that she knows that because it's going to be so many twists and turns this particular season, she's got to step her game up. She's got to, you know, let everybody know exactly what she's about. And that was about it. So then, y'all, it shows a preview of what's to come next week. And listen, well, not only next week, it just shows a preview of what's going to go on throughout the whole season, period. And it looks like to me that this season is going to give what it's supposed to give. We're going back to season 1, you know what I'm saying, of Ready to Love. So I'm excited about it. I'm here for it. I hope you guys are here for it. And definitely make sure you come back each and every week to check out your girl's review, because I want to talk about it. I want y'all to drop down in the comment section below whatever you want to talk about. We're going to talk about it. So with that being said, I want you to be happy, be healthy, be safe. It's your girl P Hope, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye, guys.